These are the types of searches that you can use independently or in combination with each other. Column filtering, simple searching, selecting saved searches, object filtering, and object matching. Column filtering is something that you've likely used before, so let's start there. You'll use this when you want to filter data results in columns. Simply click the funnel next to the column title to filter the data in that column. You can also combine filters in 2 or more columns, as shown here, by clicking the funnel icon in the columns that you need to filter. Some filter searches are designed to have options to choose from, while others have an open filter that you can type into. When you are finished with the column filters, turn them off to clear your search. Just click the column, then Filter, and click Clear Filter. After you click Clear Filter, all filters are deselected. Another common search feature that you've likely used is the simple search. To create a simple search, just type your search term in the search field and press Enter to see a list of all items that contain your search term. Since you can save a search, another search type is to select a saved search that you or someone else has saved. You'll use this when you want a search that has been thought through or built up over time. It will save you time and will complete the search using the same parameters each time. You can also save a search, and it will then show up as a saved search. You can also share a saved search with others by clicking the Saved Search Edit icon and then selecting Settings. This is helpful when a manager wants the team to be using the same search parameters. The feature also saves time. Finally, you can mark a saved search as a favorite so that it appears at the top of your saved search options. When you want to filter against an object, you can use object filtering. Just click the Show Filters hypertext link and then select the filters that you want to apply. If you select more than one filter, the results update when you select each additional filter. You'll use object matching when you want to find trends, common problems, solutions, volume, and so forth. Click to create a new record, an incident in this case, then type a word in the summary field and click the magnifying glass. If the field doesn't have a magnifying glass, then you can't use object matching. You can also use multiple object shaping and find a FAQ, knowledge article, or another incident. You can set instances so that not all search types are available for all instances. Here, you see that the simple search and saved search for alerts are disabled. You can learn more about search design in high-level administrator courses. You can combine search types when you need to have more than one search working together for you. This is helpful and illustrates the control that you have over results and the dynamic nature of searches. Sometimes you need to sort your data. You can do this by using the multi-sort function. After you click multi-sort, choose what you want to sort. Finally, click Sort and close to see your sorting applied. The multi-sort feature gets reset when you begin a new search. Now that you've learned what the different search types are, you can use them to find and organize the information that you need.
When you choose All, under a saved search, you turn off any saved searches currently selected. All shows only the data that you have the right to see. Each login role allows for the All function, but might not show the same all results as another role with different access rights. When you complete a saved search, it looks for results from the All pool. Ivanti Neurons for ITSM can't delete the All option. So, every saved search is only going to show as much as the All option. The results are based on the total assets or incidents that you can see based on your selected login role. If there are no results from your search, it means that there is no data for the search parameters that you set, so do not call support. Be specific about naming saved searches, especially if you are naming something that is going to be around for a long time. The more concise you are with the name, the easier it is to remember what that search does and to help other users understand it. When you begin typing in the simple search field, the suggested items feature automatically activates. You can click one of the suggested items. If you press Enter, you reduce the results to only include the word that you entered. Sometimes the word that you are searching for is deep in the record and not on the screen. This search function is simple to use but has hidden depths. If you go to the configuration console and open the fields of a business object, you specify and enable fields to be searchable. If you are searching a text field, the full text indexed field must be enabled. If it's a numeric search, the searchable field must be enabled. You can learn more about advanced and design searches in other administrator courses. Whenever you see Show Filter on the right of the search records, click it to open your filter options. Then, check the filters that you want and click Apply. To use this most effectively, you need to understand the data. These can be helpful for searches that you use a lot, such as active status with a certain priority ranking. As an admin from the Configuration tool, you also have options to remove, add, or edit what appears in the object filters. After you select the object filters that you want, click Save as Saved Search. Select which roles will have access to the search after you name it. You will find the Saved Search under the All drop-down menu. Next, click All Saved Searches if you want to edit, clone, or view details about a saved search. You can also view if there are any dependencies on dashboard parts to avoid making changes that might impact your dashboard. Details include the search name, category, roles, favorites, created or modified by, and modified on. You can also export the search results to Excel or email them. Finally, by clicking Settings, you can change the sharing and default options. Sorting is an enhancement you can apply to a search. You can turn column filters on and off. When you filter by column, the funnel symbol turns green so that you can see it is being filtered. If you apply too many filters, the search could result in no results. The data type changes how you can filter. If you don't have fixed values in the field, then you'll see binoculars, which enable a free type search. When you are done with filters, you need to turn them off by unchecking them or clicking Clear Filter to bring back the data. Or, if it is a free type field, delete what you've typed to clear it. Within the session, this filter is sticky, but not between sessions. If you close and then open the tab, you can't remove the filter. Other than clearing the filter, the other ways to turn the filter off are to refresh the session or log out. If you open a record and see a magnifying glass in the summary field, you can type in it to create a search for items that match. Not all objects have this search option. You can use this to find trends, common problems, and solutions in articles and related objects. Just click the link to see details. Go to the Configuration console and click Roles and Permissions under Users and Permissions. Select the role you want to change permissions for, such as Service Desk Analyst. Click the Systems Permissions tab to change the permissions to create, edit, delete, and publish searches. You also allow exporting and emailing of search results from here.
Meet Matt Reber, an Avanti Neurons for ITSM administrator for Remote Peak Hotel. He has been in his role for about 5 years and has been using Avanti Neurons for ITSM since the beginning of the year. We'll be following Matt as he works to learn about various administrative concepts and functions. As an Avanti Neurons for ITSM administrator for a hotel, Matt uses the product to do the following: change settings, configure basic items, manage users, maintain processes, and complete day-to-day tasks. Remote Peak Management wants to decrease the volume of high and medium urgency incidents that are active. Matt wants to save time by building a new saved search to help him with some related meetings that he has about the volume of the active incidents. Let's review a few terms that you'll need to know before we look at the search that Matt designs. When you design a search, there are 3 terms that you'll want to be familiar with. The first is field. The field drop-down options are based on the object that you are viewing, such as a problem, change, release, incident, or asset. Second is operator. The operator clarifies the relationship of the field to the value, which is the third term. The value could be either a text value, number, date, or even a function. Let's look at what options Matt chooses to design his saved search. He starts by clicking a new saved search from the incident object that he's on. Next, he chooses the field. Since he wants a report on how many high-urgency incidents there are, he selects urgency for his field. He only wants medium and high-urgency options, so he selects not equal to from the operator drop-down menu. Then he selects low for the value, since that is what he does not want in his report. Then he clicks Run Search to view his search results.
After Matt runs his first search, he realizes that he wants only those incidents that are active. So, he adds another search condition by clicking the plus sign. Then he chooses the status field and sets the value to active. He reviews his design to make sure that it's what he wants and then clicks Run Search. All of the active incidents that are not low urgency appear. Now Matt wants to save his search design. He clicks Save and then gives it a specific name so that it's easy to identify active, medium, and high incidents. He also clicks the checkbox to save it to his favorites. Now, when he goes to All Saved Searches, from the Favorites drop-down menu, he sees his saved search as an option and doesn't have to redo the search every time he needs data for his incident report. If you know what you're looking for, you can click Function or FX, and an Edit Expression dialog box opens. Matt wants to set up a function that is based on who is logged in. As he begins to type the term in the expression editor, prompts come up that match what he's typing. He then chooses an option and clicks Save. Another way to do the same thing is to search for a term in the toolbox on the right of the dialog box. Then you can click the term and drag it to the left expression editor area, or double-click the term, and it will appear in the expression editor. Then save the function change and your value field will populate with the function that you chose. Another function change that Matt wants to make is related to priority, because management is interested in addressing high-priority incidents, especially those that impact the guests. Matt can also begin to type a function directly into the value field. When he types $ and open parentheses and types the term, notice that options appear again. For example, if he uses the prompt function, he can insert the value each time based on the prompt text that he types within quotation marks in the inside parenthesis. This way, he can change the priority value each time he's prompted, if needed. The results will update each time he changes the priority value. Not only can you have multi-line criteria, you can also have multiple functions or values. For example, Matt sometimes wants to see relationships in data. One example is that he wants to see incidents that have tasks that his team needs to complete. So, he is more interested in the change to the task than the incident. In the Object field, he opens the drop-down menu, scrolls down and selects Is Related To. The options in the drop-down for this object field change depending on the object you are on. Matt chooses at least one task for his options by selecting Task Group via Incident contains task. This means that one object, in this case one incident, can have many values. In this case, many tasks. The letters N and M mean many.
A dashboard is a user-defined summary view of Ivanti neurons for ITSM data, quickly giving you role-relevant information in one convenient location. When you log in, the system displays the default dashboard for your role on the Home tab. Each role can have a unique designated dashboard. For example, the default dashboard for the Service Analyst role, shown here, displays role-relevant data, including open tasks and active incidents, unassigned self-service incidents, and so on. The My Dashboards list is a quick and easy way to access dashboards and create a new one. Simply select a dashboard from the list and the system displays it. Let's do some hands-on exercises to get more familiar with using My Dashboards. Click the down arrow next to the name of the default dashboard. Additionally, when you add a dashboard to the My Dashboard list, the system also adds a graphical icon of the dashboard to the toolbar. Click the Survey Dashboard icon to access it. Just like that, you have access to the Survey Dashboard. To remove dashboards from the My Dashboards list, or to designate a default dashboard, you will follow similar steps as when you added a dashboard. Once you've opened all dashboards and made your selection, under More Actions, choose the action to either remove the selected dashboards from your My Dashboards list or designate it as the default dashboard. Note, you can only choose one default dashboard. You can also adjust your dashboard list settings. If you change any of the list settings for a specific dashboard list, they remain constant even when you log out and log back in again. Just as with any other list settings, you can adjust column width, a sort order for columns, ascending or descending, column order, hidden or visible columns, page size, number of rows per page, and groupings. To reset dashboard list settings to their default settings, simply click the reset icon on a specific dashboard list. A dashboard part is simply a visual element that displays information for a particular business object. For example, the release dashboard shown here has several dashboard parts that show different information related to the release business object. Once a single dashboard part is created, it can be used on multiple dashboards. The maximum amount of parts for any one dashboard is 5 by 5. Most dashboard parts have a few common features: refresh, export data, and maximize. The refresh feature refreshes the data of the dashboard part. Depending on the permissions set by the administrator, the export data feature exports the data of that object, most often either as an Excel spreadsheet or as an image, and the maximize feature simply enlarges the dashboard part to full screen. Most dashboard parts are comprised of lists and visual data, that is, graphs, pie charts, etc., and are often interactive. For instance, the All Major Releases part, shown here, has records that you can navigate through and open. Whereas you can rotate the pie chart in the Releases by status, select and open its individual pieces, or you can toggle the legend. Click All Dashboards at the bottom right of the drop-down list. The system displays a list of dashboards available to your role. You've got descriptions and names of the dashboards as well as any category you've assigned. Other columns include information such as roles published to and who created and modified each, as well as if they are default and listed under My Dashboard. From the Select All column, check the Survey Dashboard to add it to the My Dashboards list. Next, from the More Actions drop-down menu, choose Add to My Dashboards. The value under the My Dashboard column for the survey dashboard that you selected now shows yes. Click the Home icon to return to the default dashboard. Once again, click the down arrow next to the name of the default dashboard. The survey dashboard is now added to your My Dashboards list. Only administrators can define the default dashboard for each role and determine which roles are allowed to create their own dashboards for themselves. Administrators can also assign dashboards to specific users. For roles or individuals that have been granted rights to create and edit their own dashboards, users can create dashboard parts to view data and information in different ways.
Charts are very useful dashboard objects because they quickly visualize data. There are many out-of-the-box charts available. You can filter the charts to view those associated with a specific business object using the drop-down menu at the top. To add one of these charts, click one and drag it to the dashboard. Click the arrow to the left of the dashboard to make it full-sized and again to bring back the dashboard objects pane. Click the X button at the top right of a chart to remove it. To maximize a chart, click the screen icon. Click X to return it to regular size. To edit the settings of a chart, click the pencil icon. After you make edits, click Save. Like charts, you can select a table from the pre-configured options and drag it to the dashboard. Resize the table by clicking on that icon at the top left. Drag the purple lines to your desired height and width. Click Resize again to save your changes and return to the dashboard view. Users can resize their dashboard parts also. To export your table in Excel format, click the Export icon to the right of the Refresh Table icon. There are some elements that provide common data. These special parts include data such as commonly reported issues, top 5 questions, or top 5 requests that you can drag to your dashboard. Refer to the help for details about creating custom special parts. The next dashboard object is a tree part. When you drag the manufacturer drill to the dashboard, you get an outline of items that have related details. You can expand and collapse items that contain additional details. Matt Reber, the Avanti Neurons for ITSM administrator for Remote Peak Hotel, needs to set up some dashboards for various roles within his organization. There are several dashboard objects he can use to create and customize dashboards. These include dashboard information, charts, tables, special parts, tree parts, and pivot tables. Let's explore each of these objects further. Charts, like there are the next dashboard. Finally, you've got some unique options in the pivot tables that aren't part of those associated with the charts. There aren't any that are out of the box, so we'll look at customizing one in the next module. Though there are several out-of-the-box dashboard objects you can use, your company is unique. Although you can add custom dashboard objects for all of them except dashboard information, let's explore the 3 most commonly used items. Let's start by scrolling down to the bottom of the list of charts and clicking the Add icon. A wizard pops up. Use the drop-down menus for each field in the Standard tab to get started. For our example, we'll name it Services and choose Pie Chart. Our object is incident, and then the header and footer can be generic. Click Data Labels to show those on each pie piece. Next, click Show Legend. Users can toggle it on or off. For Donut, enter 20, which is the size of the hole in the middle. Leave the aggregate at Count and group by as Service. If you scroll down, you can preview your chart. If you hover over a piece, you'll see the labels and count appear. You can change the order by and results settings. Let's go to the drill downs to see what your users can see when they click on a piece of the pie. Then click the plus icon. The fields are similar to what you use to customize the chart. Select vertical bar for the type and enable the labels and legend. Select category for the group by. You can adjust the other options, including the axis scale. We'll leave them as the default for now. Go to the Standard tab and click on a piece of the pie to see the drill down. If you want to add another drill down for the vertical bar so that you can open records, you'd use the same steps we just went through. Finally, we have the Advanced tab. This is where you can filter the data. For example, if you only want to view all active incidents, you can select it from the drop-down menu. To see your changes, return to the Standard tab. The other advanced option is to leave the filter set to None and choose a runtime filter from that drop-down menu. For example, you might want users to filter by status. Now when you preview the chart in the Standard tab, you see a drop-down filter for status on the top right. Click Save once you're done. Now navigate to the Pivot Tables list. When you click on the Add Pivot Table icon, a wizard pops up. We'll name this pivot table Incidents by Status and Service, and select the Incident Business object. You have the template options. Select the 2-row, 1-column template. Once you select the template, you'll complete the related fields. Enter count in the aggregate by field. In Measure, select Status. The left axis 1, enter Service. And for the left axis 2, enter Category. For the top axis, enter Status. Click outside the settings to enable the refresh button. Then click on it to view a mockup. Keep in mind it's not an exact preview. To see what it really looks like, use the dashboard. Click Save. Now drag it onto the dashboard and maximize it. If you want to change which status shows, close the view and click the pencil icon. Click the Filters tab. Use the drop-down menus to set the incident status in List to show active, closed, logged, and resolved. Click Refresh to see a mock-up of the changes. Then click Save. Navigate to the Tables list and scroll down to the bottom of the list of tables and click the Add icon. Then you'll want to complete the fields. Start by choosing the incident object. Then look in Save Search drop-down menu for the specific type. Select Unassigned Self-Service Incidents. Then name your table Unassigned SS Incident. You can add a description if more details are needed. When choosing a list option, you can select one, such as incident.sda, and then click Preview to make sure it has what you need. If you're working with an object that has a parent, you can enable Open Record in Parent Object. This is often used with tasks. Click Save when you're done.
Matt needs to create some business object relationships in his system and needs to understand better how they work and how to combine them into a layout. A common type of relationship is parent to child. For Matt to set up and make changes to this type of relationship, he must do it from within the parent object. In this example, we have an incident, the parent, with two tabs that represent the children, task and change. Child objects can have numbers after them. If there is no number, it's likely a custom or other relationship that we'll discuss next. The Details tab has a self-join relationship to the parent itself. You can use it for overflow information to keep the main form from being too long. If you open the Change Business object, it becomes the parent, and task, incident, and other business objects associated with this change are then the children. If you open the Configuration console, under Build, and then Business Objects, click on the Incident Business object. From the Relationships field, you can see the parent and child number in the cardinality column. The To Business Object column shows what business object it's linked to. The Through Fields column gives information about how the business objects are linked in the system, which fields are connected. A Rec ID number is a unique identifier that the system uses to track which business objects are linked together. You can also see a visual diagram of business object relationships, such as incident, by clicking on ERD, which means Entity Relationship Diagram. If you hover over the line that connect the objects, you'll see the relationship name, link field in the child or through field, and the cardinality of the relationship. Another way to define the type of relationship is the Contains versus Associated designation. In the Contains designation shown here, the task is contained within the incident, so it will be removed if the incident is deleted. In an associated designation, the object is not removed if the incident is deleted. It's important to note that these relationship designations are separate from the relationship names you see in the Configuration console. You can have associated or the abbreviation ASSOC in the relationship name, but it can still be a contains relationship. Check the binding column to see if it is a contains or an associated relationship. In this scenario, Matt has a hotel reservation business object and wants to add a child business object that is a guest list. In the administrator role, click the wrench icon, then under Build, click Business Object, then click New Object on the right. For this, we'll choose Standalone Business Object, since we don't have a group of them. However, you can convert a standalone business object to a group later if needed. Name it Guest List without a space in the business object title, and Guest List with a space in the display name. Then add a brief description. A common type of relationship is parent to child. For Matt to set up and make changes to this type of relationship, he must do it from within the parent object. In this example, we have an incident, the parent, with two tabs that represent the children, task and change. Child objects can have numbers after them. If there is no number, it's likely a custom or other relationship that we'll discuss next. The Details tab has a self-join relationship to the parent itself. You can use it for overflow information to keep the main form from being too long. If you open the Change Business object, it becomes the parent, and task, incident, and other business objects associated with this change are then the children. If you open the Configuration console, under Build, and then Business Objects, click on the Incident Business object. From the Relationships field, you can see the parent and child number in the cardinality column. The To Business Object column shows what business object it's linked to. The Through Fields column gives information about how the business objects are linked in the system, which fields are connected. A Rec ID number is a unique identifier that the system uses to track which business objects are linked together. You can also see a visual diagram of business object relationships, such as incident, by clicking on ERD, which means Entity Relationship Diagram. If you hover over the line that connect the objects, you'll see the relationship name, link field in the child or through field, and the cardinality of the relationship. Next, we want a form, list, and layout. So click Details, then click Auto-Generate UI. Remove the .auto-generated from the name, and click OK. Then you would go to the Forms, Lists, and Layout, and make any changes you want there. Open the business object that is the parent. In this case, that is the hotel reservation business object. Then click Relationships. Click Add New. Then scroll down to the child, which is Guest List, and click it. You can update the designer and display names from here. You can also replace associated with contains to clarify a relationship. You need to also add an internal reference name, such as the parent, followed by the child, or reservations guest, no space. The relation and keys will be set for you. The next three options are to allow auditing, enable full text search, and to prevent deletion of linked objects. Below that, you see the relationship type and cardinality. See the help files for more details on cardinality. You can edit that as needed. Then, you see the rec ID that we talked about earlier under the parent business object on the left. The business object should be 0 to 1. Contains is the relationship. On the right, click Not Set and select the link field from the drop-down menu to link the two together. Scroll down and click Add this relationship. Click Save. You can repeat this process for other helpful business objects that you want to link, such as journal.notes or journal.email. The only difference for this would be that the name of the link for many out-of-the-box objects is parent link instead of link field. Now, for our example, we want tabs to show for our relationships underneath the hotel reservation. To make this happen, you need to edit the layout on the parent business object. Our parent business object, in this case, is hotel reservation. So we'll open that up and click Layout. You can select a specific location or choose all of them. For this, scroll down and click on Auto-Generated Form View. Remember, we created this form when we clicked Auto-Generate UI earlier on the Details tab and Create Details. In Ivanti Neurons for ITSM, you might see this view initially, which gives you the option of using the new form view. Click Try or New Look and then expand the related panels on the left. You can always switch back by clicking Switch to Old View at the far right. Find the guest list item that shows List when you hover over it, and drag that item so that your mouse pointer is over the Add New button. It's important to note that the object you add to the tab area needs to be a list, not a form. Click Save. To add the journal notes, drag the journal notes list item right next to the guest list tab so that it's over the add icon that appears. Now click Save in the pop-up box, then click Save again for the layout. To edit the tab properties, click the gear icon. You'll see the Panel Properties Editor pop up. You can rename it, add filters, hide items, and change close and count too. Click Save when you're done. From the main console, refresh your browser. You can now view your changes by viewing the hotel reservation object. Add a new reservation, and you'll see the child object tabs you've added, and can add a new guest info or journal. If you need to make changes to the form, such as hide the link field, return to the configuration console and click the business object and forms to make changes.
Matt just received a few assignments from Remote Peak Management. The first is to change the sort order of the urgency pick list in incident records from ascending to descending. The second is to add the option meeting to the source pick list in incident records by creating a new value. A pick list is a predefined list of values shown on a drop-down list or combo box. For example, in an incident record, the urgency field has a drop-down menu containing the services available. This drop-down menu is validated by a pick list for service and has values, like demo service, available for it through a previously defined pick list. Other fields in this incident record that use pick lists include service, category, impact, priority, status, team, owner, and source. Pick lists supply other business objects with field values and are stored as child business objects in relationships. For example, if we open the Incident Business object from the Configuration console, after clicking the Fields tab, we are presented with a list of fields associated with the business object. Opening the Urgency field, we can see that this field has a validated pick list, and the pick list's name is Urgency List. To get a better understanding of how pick lists work in Ivanti Neurons for ITSM, let's talk through the following diagram. Beginning in the back end of Ivanti Neurons for ITSM in the Configuration console, you have business objects. Business objects store business data, and represent a business process in your organization or some other collection of data, like incidents. In addition to business objects, there are also validation business objects. Validation business objects are distinct from business objects in that validation business objects are typically used to store static data and are often used for pick lists that use that static data. In this case, the data values stored in urgency are high, medium, and low. It is very unlikely that these values will be changed, so they are considered static. Next, we have the pick list. Pick lists are created separate from business objects. Pick lists take either a subset of or the entirety of a dataset from a particular business object in the configuration console and populate that data in the form of a drop-down menu to be viewed in the Service Desk console. Admittedly, a bit annoyed at Remote Peak Management's first assignment, Matt sets out to change the sort order of the urgency pick list in incident records from ascending to descending. To get started, Matt needs to access the pick list linked to the urgency field. There are several ways to access and edit pick lists. Two of them include accessing the complete catalog of pick lists, and another by accessing pick lists through a business object. To access the catalog of pick lists, open the configuration console and select Pick Lists under Build. Matt doesn't know the specific name of the pick list linked to the urgency field in incident records, so he opts to look at the pick lists associated with the incident business object. Matt opens the configuration console and under Build, clicks Business Objects. He then selects the incident business object. Next, Matt opens the Pick Lists tab from within the incident business object. He identifies the urgency list at the bottom of the list and selects it. After changing the sort field from ascending to descending, Matt clicks Save. Finished with his first task, Matt sets out to complete his second, adding the option Meeting to the source pick list in incident records by creating a new value. Using the breadcrumbs, Matt selects Pick Lists from Incident. He is brought back to the pick lists associated with the incident business object. After finding the source pick list, he clicks the values link next to its name. He is presented with the complete set of values associated with this pick list. Next, he selects Add in the top right corner of the list. Matt fills out the necessary information to add the new meeting option to the source pick list and clicks Save. He can now see meeting has been added to the options in this pick list. Returning to the Service Desk console, Matt opens a new incident to verify the changes he made. The urgency sort order has been changed from ascending to descending, and the meeting option has been successfully added to the source pick list.